Imagine waking up to find out your country's military might, the same one that takes on foreign armies, could soon be sent after drug cartels across Latin America. Not undercover DEA agents, not Border Patrol. We're talking the Pentagon. This isn't a plot twist from a Tom Clancy novel, although it sounds like it. It is a classified directive signed by President Trump, and it is already stirring up tension on both sides of the border.
A report in the New York Times today that Donald Trump, quote, secretly signed a directive to the Pentagon to begin using military force against certain Latin American drug cartels that his administration has deemed terrorist organizations.
The order quietly reclassifies certain cartels as terrorist organizations. That label matters. It is the difference between treating a crime syndicate like the mob or like ISIS. And in Washington, that opens doors to intelligence sharing, military force, and strategies that until now have been reserved for declared enemies of the state.
We cannot continue to just treat these guys as local street gangs. They have weaponry that looks like what terrorists, in some cases armies have. They control territory in many cases.
Rubio's point lands. Cartels are not just guys with handguns. They are running armored convoys, RPGs, and drones. Think less street gang and more paramilitary with a side hustle in fentanyl. They operate in Mexico, Venezuela, Ecuador, and the supply chains stretch to China. We have seen this playbook before. In Colombia in the 1980s, Pablo Escobar's Medellin cartel could outgun the local police. Back then, it was bullets in the street and bombings in Bogota. Now, the stakes are chemical fentanyl potent enough to kill millions, moving north by the truckload.
Cartels are now officially in the Pentagon's crosshairs. And it's not just the wall anymore. Trump ordered the kill shot.
Behind the headlines, drones are already mapping cartel territory. Surveillance flights over Mexico are not new, but this time, the chatter is about what happens after the intel rolls in. Picture the Navy blocking maritime smuggling routes, or special operations units hitting high-value targets. Supporters see it as long overdue. Critics see a slippery slope that starts with interdictions and ends with boots on foreign soil, trading fire in someone else's backyard.
Oh, certainly. This is a major escalation, especially in the fight against drugs, the war on drugs that has continued.
Mexico's President, Claudia Sheinbaum, is not mincing words. Cooperation, yes. Invasion, no. And here is the diplomatic tightrope. Fentanyl overdoses are shattering U.S. communities at a rate of over 100,000 deaths a year. For Washington, that is not just a public health crisis, it is a national security threat. For Mexico, U.S. troops crossing the border without permission is a sovereignty crisis. Two countries, two definitions of the same problem, and both cannot be true at once.
You know, there's likely to be a lot of increased surveillance. There may be some raids to pick up some people to arrest and put on trial. There'll be some interdiction off the coasts. The Navy can cover a lot more territory than the Coast Guard can, and together they can cover both the exfil from Central and South America and the infill to us. So there's a lot of things to start with, but this is a tremendous step they're taking.
All right.
Some in Trump's orbit are even drawing parallels to the 2020 strike on Iranian General Qasem Soleimani, arguing cartel leaders could be taken out the same way. But here's the difference. Soleimani was an enemy combatant in a recognized conflict zone. Taking down a cartel boss in a sovereign country without a war declaration is the kind of move that can turn a tense alliance into a full-blown feud.
If their cartels are killing people in the United States and the MS-13 and Tren de Aragua gangs are, why can't we kill their leaders just the same way President Trump pointed out we took care of Soleimani?
That would be an imminent threat, right? I mean, if these guys are cooking up all this fentanyl and sending it into the cities and people are acting like zombies and keeling over, that's an imminent threat to the life and well-being of the American citizenry.
It is not like we have not seen war on drugs missions go sideways. In the 1990s, a similar off-the-books operation in Colombia, the one that inspired Clear and Present Danger, ended with ambushed U.S. troops and an international scandal. The reality is, these are networks that blend into civilian life. You cannot just bomb a safe house and call it a day. The fallout, politically and literally, lands everywhere.
It's unlikely that our president understands or cares how precarious any of this is. And unfortunately, the idea of anyone standing up to this particular president feels more like the stuff of old Tom Clancy fiction.
How dare you come in here and lecture me? How dare you, sir? How dare you come into this office and bark at me like some little junkyard dog? I am the President of the United States.
Trump's public answer when asked about sending troops? We're playing a tough game. That could mean deterrence or that the game board is already set. And like any high-stakes match, once the first piece moves, you cannot put it back where it started. The real question is whether this is about showing force or using it. This story is not just about cartels. It is about where America draws the line between law enforcement and warfare and what happens when that line starts to fade. In a world where fentanyl can kill more Americans in a year than some wars, it is easy to see why the White House wants bold action. But history warns us, once you step into someone else's fight, you had better know exactly how you plan to get out. If you want more clear, fact-based breakdowns without the spin, hit that subscribe button, tap the bell, and share this video with someone who thinks headlines tell the whole story.